The point I want to make with this podcast is that we all need help. We need guidance. We need mentorship. We need something to look up to. Hello, friends. Welcome back to Market Shares. I'm your host, Tony Blodgett, and here we are this time of year again. And you know what I mean, Thanksgiving. No, that's not what I mean. We're at that time, it was almost Thanksgiving, but we're at that time of year where everyone starts or finishes working on their business plan. And I'm not going to do an episode today talking about a business plan. Look, there's lots of different ways to go about finding the best way to write your business plan. But what I want to talk about today is a little bit about coaching, mentorship, business planning, and education, right? Like taking in content from people that you really look up to in your chosen industry, whether that be mortgage, real estate, or I know some of you watch this podcast that don't have anything to do with mortgage and real estate, and you probably get really tired of hearing about mortgage and real estate. No, I'm sure you love it, but you may not do this for a living. And so the question is where do you find your inspiration? And, I've told this story before, but I was very fortunate when I got in the mortgage business. It was 1997, and I had a sales manager at the time that just about 30 days after I got in the mortgage business, he suggested that I should go to this event called Sales Mastery. And for those of you in the mortgage industry, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This is the Todd Duncan Sales Mastery event. And I had the opportunity to go to that event just 60 or maybe 90 days after I got in the mortgage business. I was only 20 years old at the time. And here I am at this conference with some of the biggest names in our industry up on stage. And many of them weren't even big names at the time because this was almost 25, 26 years ago. But this was when I first saw the likes of Stephen Marshall and Barry Habib and Tim Brahim and Tim Broadhurst and so many of the people that have been influential in my career over the years. And they were up on stage. They were like these icons of the mortgage industry. And not to mention Todd Duncan, who, over the years has become a personal friend of mine. And I had the great opportunity to coach directly with Todd for some period of time as well. And I really value, to me, that was full circle, right? To see Todd up on stage at 20 years old and then have the opportunity when I was around 30, 31 years old to get to coach with Todd and have that friendship. It's come full circle. But you guys, the point I want to make with this podcast is that we all need help. We need guidance. We need mentorship. We need something to look up to. And for me, going to that event so early on in my career, it's not like, a lot of people say, well, I went to this event. I was really inspired. I was really motivated. And to me, those are things that kind of push you forward, right? When you're inspired, it's like it's moving you along. But for me, what it did was not so much push me forward, but it gave me a vision of what was possible. It gave me something to look forward to and really recognize the heights that were available in this industry. And I don't know that I would be the person that I am today in the mortgage industry had I not gone to that event at the time that I did, because it really formulated for me this crystal clear vision on where I wanted to go. So as we wrap up 2023, which has been a very challenging year, and for so many of us, we were able to make it through the last few years just kind of winging it. Just kind of getting by. There was enough business out there from friends, family, existing relationships that we may have had that maybe you didn't need a very structured plan. But what I want to challenge you to do here as you think about 2024 and the year ahead is to really put some time this year into writing a business plan. And this doesn't need to be overcomplicated. There's lots of, like I said, formats and ways to do it. But put some thought into it. And in addition to that, I would highly encourage you to align yourself with some sort of coaching, mentorship, or even just find a YouTube channel. We've mentioned it before on this podcast. You know, the YouTube channel that Dave Savage runs at the Mortgage Coach, the Trust Engine YouTube page has got more information than you could ever want to take in. And what's cool is he has it broken down into playlists. So you can find someone that you really align with, someone that you look up to, whose career you look up to, and take in their content, take in the things that they've done in their career, because you guys, there's really nothing new to be invented. Yeah, there's different ways of leveraging social media. Yeah, there's ways of using, Chat GPT and, AI and coming up with your content and your scripts. Look, I'm not saying there's nothing new, but really there's nothing new. The wheel's been invented here. We know what success looks like in the mortgage industry, and success leaves clues. And there's a lot of people that are willing to share what steps they took to get where they're at in their career. But you need to make the conscious decision of where do you want to go and who can you align yourself with, either virtually by taking in their content, or really just reaching out to someone and asking them if they want to mentor you. At our organization, we have a mentorship program. I actually signed up this year to be a mentor. I haven't been assigned who my mentee is yet, but I'm excited for that opportunity. But there's ways of finding what you need within this industry. And so, look, let's just walk through the different options. One is, look, there's a lot of great events. There's a lot of great content that you can take in. They just had AmpCon a couple weeks ago, Renee Rodriguez's event. They're phenomenal. I didn't get a chance to make it this year because of some other obligations I had, but I've been to it multiple times in the past, and I've been through Amplify, you guys, 4 times. There's no shortage of me looking to, improve myself. So look for events, mark on the calendar what events you might want to go to in 2024, and make a commitment today that you're going to attend those events when the time comes. Plan ahead. That's going to be your best course. So there's great industry conferences that you can go to. That would be the first thing that I would plug into. You don't have to go to all of them, but pick 1, pick 2, and make sure you commit to setting aside the time and the money to go to one of those events. And what's great about those events is not just the content you're going to hear from up on stage, because that's always really good. But what I've gotten out of those events is the friendships. I've come away and started mastermind groups with people that I've met at different conferences. And so there's great opportunities to just network and take in content. So find your favorite conference, maybe make that a goal in 2024. The next idea is to just hire a coach. There's plenty of coaching platforms out there in the mortgage industry, and I'm not going to list them off on this podcast. You can certainly find them, but invest the money. And one thing I hear a lot with people when it comes to coaching is, look, I'm really not into coaching, or it's just really expensive, or I'm just not coachable. Well, this is something that you need to, I think, work on with yourself. What I've found for me, I've been coached most of my career. I've had multiple different coaches over time. And I find that when I make the financial commitment to engage in coaching, that the rest kind of follows, right? So you lead with the investment, and then that's going to make you want to get more out of it. And then you're going to become more coachable because you want to get out of it what you've invested. So sometimes putting your money where your mouth is and just making that financial investment is actually the catalyst that makes the coaching work for you. So research different mortgage coach opportunities out there, and ask some people in the industry, get onto some of the forums, some of the Facebook groups that are out there for mortgage, and just ask, what are some great coaching programs that people recommend, and then reach out to those programs and find out how their system might work best for you. But investing financially in coaching can be a really good thing. I've seen it make tremendous impact in people's careers. The next thing is just, like I mentioned before, mentorship. Reach out to someone and ask them if they'll be your mentor. Like a lot of us have mentors, people that we look up to in our industry, but you can actually sit down with someone and say, look, I want some accountability. I need some mentorship. Would you agree to give me, 90 days where we can meet once a week or once every 2 weeks, and I can get some one-on-one coaching or mentorship with you? This would be free of charge. Maybe it's a top producer that's in your branch or within your region or your company. Maybe it's just having a more intentional conversation with your branch manager or someone else in your organization that you look up to, but asking them to carve out some specific time for you and get a mentor that way. It doesn't cost you any money. It does require you to have some vulnerability and the willingness to reach out, but reach out, get a mentor. And I would limit it to a period of time. Say, can I have 90 days where we can, engage, once a week, once a month, twice a month, whatever that number is, ask for that time, give it a beginning and an end, so that you can be very intentional about that. The next idea, and something that I'm really passionate about, is mastermind groups. I have been part of a number of different mastermind groups over the years. Some I've paid significant money to be part of. Other ones have been just groups of like-minded professionals that have agreed to get together on a regular basis. It doesn't have to be all the time. It could be, we did one which is every 6 months we'd get together and have a little mastermind. I've done other ones where we got together every Thursday for a period of time. So over 26 years, I've been a part of many mastermind groups. And reach out to people that maybe you were connected with in the past. Maybe you were part of another coaching program, or you were together at another company, or whatever the case may be, and rekindle that network of people and put together a mastermind. Doesn't have to cost any money. And it could be a great way to share ideas, hold each other accountable, and come up with your own mastermind group. So you guys, those are just a few ideas that I would consider if I were you, and things that have worked for me over the years. But don't wrap up 2023 without putting some sort of a business plan down on paper. It's really important that you write something down. You don't need a special format. You don't need a booklet. You don't need a class to do a business plan. You could simply write down what your goals are for the next year. Now, if you want to be more sophisticated, do some research, find some great business planning tools, use those tools if that's something that you want to do, but don't overcomplicate it, and don't let the complexity be the thing that keeps you from writing down your goals. Because one thing I can promise you over my career, and I've seen it happen for many others, is what you write down gets done. You may not accomplish it in 2024. That's okay, but write down the goals. How many new relationships do you want to add? How many transactions do you want to close? How much money do you want to make? All of those things are important to memorialize on paper so that you have them written down. And something about writing down your goals, you guys, the universe will conspire with you to help you accomplish the things that you write down. I've never written down a financial goal that I didn't eventually meet. I just haven't. It's never happened. And so write down those goals and you will be pulled towards that success. I can't tell you exactly how it works. I just know that it does work unless you don't do it. So that's my tip for today, you guys. I appreciate your time and attention here on Market Shares. I hope this inspired somebody to take a little extra action as we are moving into the holidays, wrapping up 2023. Spend some time to think about what you can do different, what you can do better, and what you can reduplicate that has worked for you in the past in 2024. Like and subscribe if you would. I would sure appreciate that. But more than anything else, I would appreciate you telling people about Market Shares. Spread the good word. I would appreciate the referral. And until next time, take care.